And a few hours ago, I had the opportunity to sit down with the president. Here's part one. We'll show you the entire interview, part one of my interview with President Trump right after this historic meeting. Mr. President, great to see you.
Thank you very much.
Historic day. I think most people like me want to know what was going on in that room one-on-one.
Well, the big thing is this is now my 25th hour of being up and negotiating, and we've been negotiating very hard.
This is about the complete, verifiable, irreversible denuclearization of the entire peninsula.
So without that, we could not have had a deal. I mean, one thing up front, we want to denuke the entire peninsula. We want to denuke that whole situation. That is a hotbed. And you know what's been happening for years, and nobody did anything about it. And you have to. We have no choice. We had to. And the relationship was really good. It built. And I talked about early on in the relationship and the feeling. Well, we had a very good feel right from the beginning. And we were able to get something very important done. And actually some things happened after that was signed, Sean, where we're getting rid of certain missile research areas, certain missile testing sites. They're getting rid of a lot.
You know, in the lead up to this, and this was pretty amazing because obviously I'm a pretty strong critic of our news media in the country, but a lot had happened. He had dismantled a nuclear test site. He crossed over the DMZ. 3 hostages were released. The missiles stopped being fired. He was willing, you wouldn't have come here if he was not willing to talk about denuclearization.
That's right.
So all of that happened before you walked in, and I don't remember that you sent cargo planes of cash or gave anything really before the lead up. Why do you think he's interested in doing this after spending that time with us?
Well, it's sort of interesting because I noticed some of the press, and I'm not even knocking him because honestly they've been treating me very good on this subject. What's to treat badly? But some of the press would say he's meeting with them and therefore he has a major loss. I said, since when? And others wanted to. It never worked out. It probably never could have worked out. But we really have gotten a lot. You haven't seen missiles going up in 7 or 8 months. You haven't seen research. You haven't seen nuclear tests, very importantly. Japan is very happy because they were being encircled. I mean, there was a period of time when they were going right over the middle of Japan. And we got our hostages back, and you're right, we didn't pay for that, but I think, I don't say that in a braggadocious way at all, because he did such a smart thing, because that was such a good thing to do, and I feel so badly about Otto Warmbier. That was the one thing, and Otto did not die in vain. I actually believe, and I've gotten very friendly with Otto's parents, they're incredible people, devastated, as they, as you would think, great parents. He was a great young man. But I think without Otto, this whole thing wouldn't have happened because it crystallized when he came back in the condition. It crystallized so much to so many people, maybe even to the other side, frankly. But I think that Otto truly did not die in vain.
I've known you for a lot of years, and I think one trait that I could say is brutal honesty. In the room, alone, and then the subsequent talks with your team and their team. How honest, how brutal, what was said? Try and bring people into the room. So
we got along very well. We got along from the beginning. We started off, he and myself and 2 interpreters, and from the beginning we got along. I've made the statement, and I've said it before. I've said it about a lot of different kinds of relationships. You can almost tell right at the beginning.
Did you tell at the beginning? What was that first minute?
No, I felt very good at the beginning, and I talked about we have to denuke. This country has to be denuked, and he understood that. He fully understood it. He didn't fight it. And we're doing some great things, and for his country, and South Korea is going to be involved very much in helping, and Japan is going to be involved, and President Xi of China has been, really terrific on the border. I think less so the last couple of months, unfortunately.
Was that a big part? Because your meetings, when you met with the president of China, was scheduled, if I recall, for like 15 minutes. Didn't some go on for 4 hours?
That's right. Well, we actually met at Mar-a-Lago. He wanted to be at Mar-a-Lago, and we had a 15-minute meeting scheduled. When he comes in, we were going to go into breakout rooms where we had many people waiting for us, and it ended up lasting 4 hours. The 15 minutes, president of China, great guy, it ended up lasting for 4 hours. We just got along, and we have gotten along. I mean, I want him to treat us better on trade. That's my only problem. You know, they've been killing us.
Didn't they make concessions on intellectual property?
Well,
trade?
They want to do things. It's a tough thing. You know, they're doing so well. They've made so much progress against us for so many years. It's awfully tough for them to bring it back. And we'll see how that all works out. We're gonna do something. Definitely, we're gonna do something. You know, they offered us $80 billion in purchases of agricultural products,
right.
but it's just not enough for what we're talking about. It's $80 billion.
What do you want?
I never thought I'd turn down $80 billion, but we have to do something with intellectual property. We have to do something just generally on trade. Last year we lost $500 billion with China. We can't do that anymore.